and welcome to today's vlog. I hope you're well wherever you are. Today I have quite a low-key cozy day planned, so I thought I would start by just doing my makeup and showing you how I'm doing it at the moment because it's been a while. I think I last showed it in the autumn, and I guess, you know, through the seasons the way you do your makeup changes a bit. So I always start by putting some clips in to get my hair out of my face, so excuse this funky hairstyle for the duration of the makeup section. But basically I normally start in the mornings, my routine, by putting some rose water on my face. I got this recently in Paris, if you saw that vlog. But it's actually a brand from Florence called Santa Maria Novella, and I really like their products because they're very natural. So this is just pure rose water, and that's all I put on my face as like a morning routine. I normally spray it on a little cotton pad and put it on my face because it's good to hydrate your skin. I don't have that dry skin. In the winter it is more dry than in the summer, obviously. So I do need to moisturise it a bit and hydrate it, but in the morning I don't use my full-on moisturiser that I use at night. I just use this rose water. I find that's good enough. I need to be very careful with what I put on my face because A, I have very sensitive skin that gets allergic reactions easily, and B, I break out very easily. At the moment I do have quite a bit of spots because, you know, hormonal cycles, but that's fine. That's why I'm showing you my routine, because I wear a bit more makeup in the winter to try to cover up my spots a bit more. But yeah, that's how I start. So I put the rose water on my face, and that's the hydration stage. And then normally I put on my mascara next, which I know everyone always does it last, but the problem with me is that I get mascara all over my eyelids when I put it on because I'm just really bad at it. So I need to wipe it off, so I can't have anything else on my face, otherwise I'd be wiping off the makeup that I spent ages doing. At the moment I've been using the Yolène Paris mascara, which I also got in my last vlog in Paris, but it's really good. I like it, and it's made with like natural oils, and I can't remember now what it's made of, but they're all like natural ingredients, which is really important to me where I can, to use products that are natural. And it's just a really lovely mascara. I'm going to try my best to put it on nicely because, like I said, I'm normally very messy. So since the travelling that I've been doing in the inter-semester break and the Christmas holidays, because I went to Paris, I went skiing, I've been very busy with university work, so I haven't got any travelling planned for the near future. At the moment I'm starting a new project at university because I'm an architecture student, for those of you who might not know, and the project is the final project of the degree, so it's quite intensive, and it's one that we can completely choose ourselves. So we've been told we have to set it in Oxford, and it has to be a building that Oxford needs, but we can choose the building, we can choose the site in Oxford. It's all very free, and on one hand that's good because it gives you more opportunities to be creative, but then on the other hand that's quite overwhelming because it's like, it's such an important part of our grade for the degree and you don't want to mess it up, and if it's up to you to choose then you want to make sure you make a good choice. You can see I've already got some all over my eyelids of this mascara, but it's okay, I can wipe it off. So yes, I chose a site. So my theme was Revival of the High Street, well, is Revival of the High Street, because when I was walking through Oxford I just got the impression that all the shops along the high street are closed. I know this is a problem all across the UK, the decline of the high street, which is such a shame because I feel like that's a central part of English towns, cities, villages even always have a high street and part of our culture, and the fact that they're declining is a shame because it's kind of like where all the community gets together and where you can support local businesses, local crafts. Without the high street it's just chains that kind of have the upper hand in terms of online shopping and things. So I'm also very much inspired by William Morris and the arts and crafts movement. I am a big fan of William Morris's work and his literature. So I'm using that as inspiration for my building that I'm designing. And yeah, that's how it's going so far. So my building is an arts and crafts centre / centre for independent businesses. So it's got like a big hall for exhibitions and workshops and like covered markets, and then there's like individual little shops for local businesses or local crafters to have pop-up shops, and potentially, you know, it's an opportunity for them to try out their business ideas that they can then carry forth onto the high street, or it could be their permanent base depending on how they want it to work. And then there's like medium-sized workshop rooms as well as the big exhibition hall. There's a cafe, there's all sorts in it, and offices and things. So that's the building I'm designing. if anyone has any ideas or like buildings that they know of that might be useful to me, feel free to, you know, comment them down below, because I need all the help I can get in terms of inspiration for the building. But yeah, that's what I've been doing at the moment. I've been busy with that. Even today, see, I need to hurry up with my makeup. I'm spending ages because I'm chatting, but I had a violin lesson this morning, so I need to get ready quickly to be able to go to the lesson. Okay, one second. I normally clean my mascara with a little cotton bud that I wet it and then wipe the mascara off my eyelids. So I'm gonna go and do that. I'll be back in a second. Okay, the mascara is cleaned, and you can see it's a really lovely mascara. It's quite natural, it's not too strong, but it just lifts your eyelashes, gives them a lovely look, and I like this mascara. And it's also really easy to clean off, because it stays on well, but then when you need to clean it off, it just comes straight off. I hate mascaras that you just can't, and you're like wiping and wiping, and then you think you're done, you clean your face with a towel, like you dry it, and then the towel's all black. It's just, ugh. Anyway, next step is the foundation, and I use the Dior Forever foundation. I used to use MAC, but I was never quite happy with how it looked on my skin, and I got a sample of the Dior one. Oh my god, this just sprayed all over the table. Anyway, I got a sample of the Dior one, and I tried it out, and I really liked it, because it didn't make me break out. The problem that I have is that even though I don't have dry skin, the MAC one always looked really visible on my skin. I felt like it kind of made it look flaky. I don't know, it was really weird. So I was never happy with it, even though lots of people recommended it to me. But I tried this one, and I just feel like it gives you a really nice airbrush look. The finish is just really nice on your skin, and it smells really good because it's got like floral extracts in it. And I just like this one a lot. Out of the ones that I've tried, although to be fair, I haven't tried that many because I don't experiment much with makeup, but out of the ones I have tried, it's my favourite, so I stick to this one now. And as you can see, it's quite a natural look as well in terms of foundation, because it's very light and liquidy, so it just like, as well, I'm applying it with my finger. I hope that doesn't cringe anyone out, because I know my sister hates the fact that I apply my makeup with my finger. I don't use brushes, but I just find brushes or like sponges just make it really cakey, and like, you get the texture of what you're using to apply it on your skin, whereas with your finger you can kind of put it on. You can make sure it's a lighter layer, because I don't want to put too much on, and then I don't know, I just find it easier, so I always put it on with my finger. There you go. So this is the one I'm using. The plan for today, other than my violin lesson, which I won't be filming because I don't think my teacher would like that, is to do some baking, because I haven't baked in so long. I just haven't had that much time. The last time I baked was at Christmas time, when I make Christmas cookies, and since then I haven't, and it is February now, so I'm going to bake a Dorset apple cake today, and I'll be filming the recipe for that. Basically the reason I'm doing that one is because my mum keeps telling me that she's really craving Dorset apple cake, and I think she's hinting that she wants me to bake it, so I'm going to bake it today. When she comes home, she can have some Dorset apple cake. Dorset is a region in England where this cake is traditionally from, and it's quite a rustic country cake. I mean, you can obviously make it in a more delicate way. The traditional cake uses darker flour and like golden sugar. I can't remember the exact ones. I'll tell you as I'm going through the recipe, but it just makes it more of like a rich, rustic cake. The best way I can describe it is rustic. So I have lots of apples. I'm ready to make the cake. I'll be doing that later today, which is fun. I normally put some cinnamon in it to give it that kind of warming, spiced flavour, which is nice, but I don't think it's necessarily needed. You don't need cinnamon in the cake, but I like to add it in because I love cinnamon. So this is my face with the foundation on, and like I said, I just feel like it's not a really heavy look. Sometimes my sister doesn't even realise I'm wearing foundation. She's like, are you wearing foundation today or not? Is your skin just really good today? No, I like this foundation because it just doesn't look like you're wearing it. And that's what I like in makeup. I don't like too much of a heavy look. So yes, that is the foundation. Then I'm going to put on a bit of concealer. I never used to use concealer, but the last time I went to get my foundation, the lady was like, do you want to try our concealer? So this is also Dior, because I got it from the same store. And it's, yeah, Forever Skin Correct. Forever Skin Correct. and I was like, oh, I don't really wear concealer. She's like, just try it out. And then she put it on and I was like, wow. I looked tired. I didn't realise how dark my under eye area was until I put on the concealer and saw the difference. And yeah, architecture degree is draining, so obviously that's why I need a bit of concealer to hide how tired I am. But she told me that when you put it on, to put 3 dots under your eyes, 1 in the corner, 1 underneath, and 1 kind of on the other edge, and then to pat with your finger. She said do not smudge it, you have to pat, pat, pat. So that's what I do when I put it on, because that's how she taught me how to do it. And like I said in previous videos where I've shown how I do my makeup, I'm not very good. I don't like sit watching tutorials and stuff to figure out how to do it. I just kind of do it and it looks alright. So I swear if I pull weird faces when I do my makeup as well. I know sometimes I go like when I do my makeup, I don't know why. But yeah, that is the after. And you can see on the left, I mean, where I haven't blended it, how dark my under eye was, and here it's just, I look more awake, which is obviously what I'm going for. I was also hoping today to go for a nice walk somewhere, to like either, I don't know, go to some nice country house or just in the countryside in general, but it's really rainy and windy today, which is a shame because the weather's been not too bad recently, but today, weekend when I actually have time off, it's really bad weather. So I probably will still go for a walk because it's fine. I'll just put on my wellies and a raincoat and I will be fine, but it's just not as pleasant. So that is with the concealer. And now I'm going to put on some blush. I've just realised that everything is the same brand. This is also a Dior blush. The lady was obviously very convincing when she was selling me stuff, but this one is the colour 80 Red Smile Matte. Also, like I said, I don't know, I've tried out other blushes as well. I tried out the Benefit blush, which I know is very popular, but I just felt like it was very pigmented and difficult to blend, whereas this one, it's got a really lovely colour, but it's just really easy to blend into your face. I don't know, Dior just, I like their products, okay? I'm a fan. So I just kind of like tap the brush on my face. Like I said, I don't know if this is how you're meant to do it, but this is the way that works for me as someone who's not good at makeup. And it's just got a little nice, so you can see the difference on that side and that side. It just adds a little bit of colour, but not too strong. It makes me look a bit more alive when I'm tired in the morning. And I like this container because it's got a mirror as well, but the Benefit one doesn't. So it's useful, I don't know, when you're on holiday and you don't necessarily have someone to do it, you can use this. I mean, I think it's for if you take it out, but I never take blush out with me, only lipstick to top up, but I wouldn't need to bring anything like blush or, I don't know, powder or something. However, it's still useful to have the mirror in the box. So that is the blush. Which I hope I didn't do a bit too strong on that side. The lighting's really bad in here because it's quite a yellow light, and when I go out sometimes the makeup looks a bit different to how I did it inside. Normally I do it in the bathroom, but it's awkward to vlog in the bathroom, so I'm vlogging in the living room. However, it's fine. Okay, and now for lipstick. I might just go for like a coloured lip balm because I don't want a strong colour today. And I have this really lovely, I got this for my birthday, my 21st birthday from my mum. It's an Alex D. Reynis lip balm, and it's so beautiful because it's in this little, so it comes in a little red velvet bag, and then it's in a porcelain box inside. Wait, I'll show you a bit better. With a lovely gold clasp. It's so beautiful. And when you open it up, it looks like this. Oops. It would make a really lovely gift if you're looking for gift ideas. It was a birthday present for me. And it's Limoges porcelain from France. And it's just so beautiful. And I feel like, you know, a princess in the morning when I've got this little box to open up because it's so fancy. And it's a really lovely lip balm. So because it's a balm, it's really nourishing for your lips, but if you see the top and the bottom, the colour difference is really strong. And again, this is kind of like a natural beauty thing to use because I always look for natural products where I can, and this one has really nice ingredients. Can't remember them, but I remember I was impressed when I was reading the description. So that is the final look for today. I'm just going for a simple look, but like I said, I wear a bit more makeup in the winter than in the summer. In the summer I never wear foundation or concealer because my skin is healthier with the sun and I don't need to, but in the winter when I have worse acne and I just look a bit sickly, I feel like I need to, yeah, put a bit more effort into it. So that is the final look. And now it's time for me to leave for my violin lesson, but I will come back and, yes, have a walk, bake Dorset apple cake, and I'm not sure what else I'll do, but whatever I decide to do, I'll bring you along. So yeah, that's the plan for today. So I've just come back from my violin lesson, which went really well, and it's always nice to see my teacher. We always have a nice chat, so that's fun. And now I've prepared all the ingredients for the Dorset apple cake. I'm really excited to bake because, like I said, it's been so long since I baked, and for me baking is really something I do to relax, and when I have free time it's just such a peaceful way to spend my time, to put on some music and bake and have something yummy, and it's just therapeutic for me. So and I also love to have friends around and to bake for other people, so maybe I can share this apple cake with some friends at uni or something. But basically I have prepared the ingredients as per the recipe on The Guardian. The Guardian website has a recipe for the best Dorset apple cake. I changed it slightly as to suit my own preferences, but I will tell you what the ingredients are. I will also link the recipe in the description box of this video for anyone who wants to try it out. But I like this one because it's, like I said, very rustic. So it's got 225 grams of wholemeal flour, which I've prepared in this bowl, and then 175 grams of muscovado sugar, so it's like a very dark sugar, which is lovely because it gives the cake a lovely caramel flavour, and then 150 grams of butter melted. I've got the butter here but I haven't melted it yet, so I'll do that in a minute. 2 large eggs beaten, so I'll beat these as well before I start. Then it says 4 medium apples, preferably fairly tangy. So normally I would use like big green baking apples because they have like a nice sour taste, which is really good for apple cakes, but I don't have any, and I'm just going to use the apples I have at home, and they're not medium, they're quite small, so I've got 5 of them. I think that'll be good enough. If I feel like it's not enough, I can always cut another one because I have more. And then 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a pinch of salt, but I never add a pinch of salt when it says to in baking because I just prefer without. And then it says a teaspoon of mixed spice. Instead I'm just going to use a teaspoon of cinnamon, or maybe 2 teaspoons of cinnamon because I love cinnamon. In case you haven't been able to tell already in my many baking videos, I adore cinnamon. And then demerara sugar to top. But I'm just going to save a little bit of this sugar to sprinkle on top because I don't have any other brown sugar. And it's really nice to do this because I feel like it's just that, gives this cake that little extra something. When you sprinkle the dark sugar on the top just before you put it in the oven, it makes a nice crispy top. Oh, it's so good. So make sure you don't forget to do that because that just perfects the cake. And then this recipe says to put flaked almonds on the top, but for me that's not a traditional Dorset apple cake, so I'm not going to put flaked almonds on the top because I prefer not to. But I have everything ready and I'm going to start. So first I'll prep by melting the butter, peeling and dicing the apples and beating the eggs, and then I'll check back in with you in a second. I thought I would share some music that I've been loving recently since I've got it on while I'm baking. But basically, I don't know if you've heard of the singer Guitarrica de la Fuente, but he's, sorry if I butchered the pronunciation, I don't speak Spanish, but he's a Spanish singer and I love his music. This is his Spotify page for anyone who wants to check out his music, but he basically he's inspired by traditional Spanish music and like classical guitar and that kind of thing, and he's got really beautiful music that I just love to listen to. It's quite calming and relaxing, and you can hear that it's inspired by traditional Spanish music. I love that because it makes it unique compared to other music, and I've been really enjoying his music. So if you're looking for something new to listen to, maybe you should go and check it out. Well, that's what I have on while I'm baking at the moment. So now that I have all my ingredients prepared, I have beaten the eggs with an electric whisk, I have diced the apple, and I melted the butter, so I can now start putting everything together. And basically, I mean, it says recipes always have a different order that they say to put things in, but it literally doesn't matter. I always just put all the wets in, mix them together, and then put the dries in gradually, and that always works for me. So I'm going to go straight in with the eggs, and then add in the melted butter, although it's worth saying that the butter needs to have cooled, otherwise the eggs will scramble. So the butter is cool, so I'm going to add that in. And I'll also put in the sugar. And I'm going to leave about this much, I don't know if you can actually see that, at the bottom of the bowl, so I can sprinkle that on the top at the end. So I'm going to mix this together. And that should combine pretty quickly, and now I'm just going to, with a spoon, add in the flour bit by bit until it's all mixed together. So as you can see, the mixture is like a lovely, creamy, very dark in colour cake mixture. It's not runny, because, like I said, it's more of a rustic texture, and because of the dark flour and the dark sugar, it will be dark like that. And now that that's all mixed together, I'm going to add in the, oh no, first I'll add in actually the baking powder and the cinnamon. So the recipe calls for 2 teaspoons of, this is a teaspoon of baking powder. Which I want in. 1, 2. And then I'm also going to put in 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. And I'll make sure that that's fully mixed in. Okay, now the last step is to add in the apples. And it's important to make sure that you put in all the dried ingredients before you put in the apples, otherwise you can get chunks of flour or baking powder that stick to the apple pieces, so make sure everything's fully combined, and this is always the last bit that you put in. Okay, it's a bit difficult to mix an apple with the machine, so I think I'm going to take the bowl out and mix it by hand, because the apples are just staying at the top and not going to the bottom of the mixture, so I'll just take this out now. Also, I was worried that my apples, because it said 4 medium apples, but I put in 5 because mine were fairly small, but it looks like it's quite heavy on the apples, which is good because it needs lots of apples in it. But I'm worried it might be a bit too many. But it doesn't matter because I have a very fruit-filled cake, and I suppose it's healthier if it's got more apple in. I don't know, so it's always a benefit. Yes, this looks amazing. I'll show you what the mixture looks like. So it's quite thick, it's very rich in apples, but that's how Dorset apple cake is meant to be. Or actually no, don't take my word on that, because there's going to be someone from Dorset who's going to comment, no, that's not how we make it, but okay. My preferred version is like this. Now that that's all mixed, I have a cake tin size. It's an 18 centimetre or 7-inch tin, there you go. And I have this convenient bit of baking paper that fits exactly inside, which makes life so much easier. I'm going to pour the mixture straight in. Because it's quite thick, it's quite difficult to pour, because A, it's quite heavy, and B, it doesn't fall into the bottom of the pan, so you need to kind of smush it in with a spoon or a spatula. I'm using a spatula so I can smooth the top as well. Make sure it's nice and even. It smells really good, and that's what it looks like before baking. Before I forget, the finishing touch is to sprinkle the sugar onto the top. So that should just be generously sprinkled all over the top. because like I said, it just gives it that caramelized, crispy top, and oh, it's delightful. So that's a must for Dorset apple cake. Okay, now that is the cake with the sugar on it. And I'm going to pop that into an oven that is preheated at 180 degrees Celsius. And that is going straight into there. And that needs to bake for, let me check. Okay, the recipe says bake for an hour, then add the almonds, which I'm not doing, and bake for about 15 to 25 minutes more until coming away from the edge of the tin. That seems quite long to me. I'll let you know how long I bake it for, because I honestly can't remember. It's been a while since I baked this cake. Probably like 2 years since I baked it, so I can't remember how long I normally bake it for. That seems like quite long. I'll update you, but okay, for now it's in the oven, and I'll keep an eye on it and we'll see how it goes. Also, I just want to say that my lip balm that I used this morning when I did my makeup has stayed very well, because normally when you get a coloured lip balm, like as the lip balm goes into your lips and like it absorbs the moisturising qualities of it, the colour fades. I get that anyway, and like even just drinking water or something, the lip balm disappears. But the tint of this has stuck on, so I can't feel the balm on my lips at all, but the colour is just beautiful and really natural, and I love it. And I think it's quite a nice pink for spring and summer as those seasons are coming. You can see I'm feeling in the spring mood because I have this beautiful cardigan with little embroidered flowers on it, quite spring colours. And the baking, for me spring is definitely a season where I do a lot of baking. To be honest, I actually do lots of baking in all seasons. I don't know what I'm talking about, but Easter, I think of baking when I think of Easter, like carrot cake, or I do lots of like brioche and like Easter cupcakes or brownies, things like that. Like I just love baking all the time. But yes, apple cake today, and I can't wait to tuck in. I might make a coffee while I'm waiting for it to bake because it's very grey and dark outside, and I feel like I need something to lift me up a bit. So yeah. Just going to check how this cake is doing. It smells so good already. I don't know if you can see, the top looks like it's getting really nice and crispy. So I just have to wait patiently. So while I'm waiting for the cake to bake, I've made myself a cup of coffee, which I have in this beautiful cup and saucer, and I am reading. My current read is Tant que le café est encore chaud, which means while the coffee is still hot, and it's a French translation of a Japanese book. And I picked this up at the airport in Paris on the way back home from my ski trip that I went on recently, and it's become a bit of a tradition that every time I'm at the airport in Paris coming back home, I always pick up a French book, because it's easier to obviously buy books in another language in the country, because it's expensive to order them into England, and it's become something I do every time now. So my library is quickly filling up with French books as well as English ones. But I was drawn to this one because it's a really interesting story. It's set in Tokyo, and it's about a cafe called Funiculi Funicola, which is funny because I love that Italian song of the same name. So the cafe has that name, and it's basically a cafe where there's a legend that you can go and have a cup of coffee there in a specific seat, a specific type of coffee that's served to you, and you can travel back in time. But there's lots of like rules to do with that possibility to travel in time. So you have to be sitting in that specific seat. You're not allowed to get out of the seat. You can only travel back in time within the coffee. So only people who've been there, or events that have happened there, are events that you can go back to, and you can only travel while the coffee is still hot, and you need to finish the coffee before it turns cold, otherwise you'll become like a ghost. So it's really interesting though, because it's split into 4 stories of 4 times when people travel back in time in this way. So I've read the first one out of 4, and it's just really creative and interesting, and I like the idea, and it was kind of like that makes you think as well, because it brings back lots of questions, like if there's all these rules, would you want to travel back, and what would be the purpose, what would you gain from it, would it have a negative impact on you? Just really interesting. I'm enjoying it so far, it's really good. I don't know what the book is called. There's probably an English translation of it. I'll search and write it up somewhere on the screen, so if you're interested you can go and read it, but it's really good. And yes, I'm trying to keep going with my French because I don't want to forget. Speaking of languages, I'm really lucky because I used to do Italian classes at the University of Bath, but the teacher left, and for a long time they didn't have any because they couldn't find a replacement. So they'd announce that you can sign up, and then a week later you'd get an email. Well, I got an email saying, oh, we're sorry, but the classes aren't running anymore. Like each semester they would keep cancelling it every time I signed up because they couldn't find a teacher. But this semester they found a teacher, so I'm doing Italian classes again, which is really fun. Because I just really enjoy learning languages, and I'm hoping that I can get my Italian up to the same level as my French, so I'm happy that I'm going to the classes. And it's a really nice group as well. It's a nice way to meet new people at university, people with similar interests. But it's been a while since I did Italian, so my Italian is a bit rusty. I used to do it every day on Duolingo myself, but I haven't been doing it because so that's the problem. If you don't have classes and you try to keep up with something yourself, it's really hard because you don't find the time, whereas if you have a commitment, then you find the time because you have to, and they always give you a bit of homework, and it's a good way to keep going with the language. And I'm lucky that at the University of Bath there are free language classes to do, so I'm happy. But I'm going to read my book a bit. The cake is nearly done, I can smell it. And I think the timer is going to go off very soon, so it looks like it's going to be in there for the full hour. I don't think I'll leave it for longer than an hour because I need to check, I need to put a stick in to see if the inside is raw or not. But it's taking a while to cook, basically. I also just want to quickly show you some flowers that I recently got at the supermarket because I love having fresh flowers on the table. I feel like it always makes me happier to see them, and it just brightens my day a bit, and it makes me excited for spring to come. Especially when the spring flowers start coming out. So I got some tulips recently, and I'll show you what they look like. And I also got these little white flowers. I don't know what they're called, but they're really pretty, and I put them together with the red tulips, and I think it's just, it really elevates the bouquet because supermarket flowers are cheap, but I haven't got money to spend to get really professional bouquets, so I like to get two different varieties and put them together myself, and I think the effect is really impressive, so I'm really happy with how that turned out. And yeah. Just taken the cake out after 1 hour, and this is what it looks like. It's a beautiful golden colour. The top is nice and crunchy. Oh, I just can't wait to tuck in, but I need to let it cool down first. But wow, just admire that. It's beautiful. Okay, I think the cake has cooled down enough now to slice it. This is what it looks like. It smells amazing. Oh my gosh, okay. I've got this beautiful white cake stand I'm going to put it on because I feel like it matches the vibe of today, which is very much early spring. We're getting excited for spring. Try not to break the cake. I hope it's cooked all the way through. Like I said, I left it in for 1 hour. I didn't leave it for the extra time that it said to, but I think that I put a stick in and it didn't come out dirty, but the problem is because the mixture is not very runny, it could still be a little bit raw, and I won't know by putting a stick in because it's too thick to actually show, but I hope it's ready. Moment of truth. The top feels nice and crispy. I haven't got a plate ready. Okay, I'll go and grab a plate 1 second. I have my Spode blue and white plate, which I'm using, because I need something special. Okay, it looks like it's a success. It is cooked all the way through. This is what it looks like. I don't know if you can see the steam on the camera. It's really steaming up. Oh, I just can't wait to eat this. Okay, grab a fork. And a moment of truth. It's very good. I'm happy with that. That was a success. I'll show you what the cake looks like in the stand as well. So it's quite a small cake. So if you wanted to make a cake for more people or just have a bigger size cake, then you'll need to increase the mixture because this is the size that it produced. Which for me is good because I feel like this is a good size for my family. But obviously it depends how many people you're baking for, etc. but it's so good. And it's not too sickly sweet or something, it's just really nice, and you can have it for a breakfast cake if you want, or afternoon tea, dessert, whatever you want. And even if you have it with maybe like vanilla ice cream or custard, it could also be really nice. But I'm just going to eat it like this with my cup of coffee, which I still have some left. Carry on reading my book, but I would definitely recommend trying out this recipe, so go to the description box for the recipe linked below. And yeah, if you're looking for some baking, then I hope this gives you an idea of what to do. So I've been waiting, hoping that the weather would clear up a bit, that maybe I'd get a little bit of sun, or at least it would stop raining so I could go on a walk, but it's still really grey and drizzly, and the drizzly rain doesn't bother me. I don't mind a little bit of rain, but it's the fact that it's really windy. So even if I went for a walk and tried to vlog, you wouldn't hear a word I was saying because of the wind. This is what it's looking like. I don't even know if the camera shows how dark it is, but I mean, I've turned the light off now because the lighting's really awful when I vlog, but I need the lights on inside, otherwise I just can't see anything. I'm gonna go for a walk anyway, but maybe not a long walk. I'll probably do some yoga later this evening so that I get some exercise, but I need some fresh air. I'm not someone who can stay inside all day, even if the weather's bad. I need to go for a short walk just to get some fresh air, so that's what I'm going to do now. And I'm not sure where I'm going to go, probably not too far, we'll see.
To see from the moment we arrived. Cornelia, you are one who will survive. When time's been bad, you put smiles on everyone. Of you.
This is where the tricky bit of the walk starts, because from here on up it's just steps. And that's why I like this walk so much, because well, it's a good workout. You feel the burn on your legs. And I'm coming around the corner now and I'll show you how far these steps go, because they go on forever and ever. Although it does mean that you have a beautiful view. I don't know if you can see it behind all the trees, but it's a skyline of Bath. It's lovely. But it just keeps going and going. Okay, this is a little bit of a flatter bit, but ahead, like there, the steps just keep going up, and it doesn't show on camera, but all this is uphill, so it's really intense, but it's worth it. And the reason I came out was to get some exercise, so this is sufficient. I am out of breath and my legs are burning.
And of all I should have done,
So I'm back from the walk, and it's actually a bit later because I've been editing this vlog in the evening, but it was a really nice walk despite the grey and gloomy weather and the bit of rain that I had. It was nice to get some fresh air. And for those of you who are familiar with Bath, I went through Hedgemead Park up to Camden Crescent, and then on the right of the crescent there are some stairs that go up the hill, and I went that way and back down. And it's a walking route that I used to go on quite regularly, but I haven't been on in a while, so it was nice to go back. And like I said, there are some really nice views over Bath, which is one of the positive things about living here, because the hills mean that there are always so many beautiful views over the city. So yes, I hope you enjoyed this video. There's a bit of a mix in here, makeup, baking, walks, but it's more of an insight into my day-to-day life, so I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please like this video and subscribe to my channel to join me on more adventures, and I will see you next time. Bye!